Hello and welcome to Anime Memories, and on this episode I'm going to be talking about Kaleido Star. I can't remember how I first heard about this, but I think I was just randomly searching the internet and just happened to find it. I originally wound up dropping it for reasons that I'll get into a little bit later, but I felt I was being a bit unfair, so I decided to give it another chance. And boy am I glad that I did, because this is truly a hidden gem. Sora Nagino has dreamt of joining a prestigious circus called Kaleido Stage ever since she saw one of their performances as a child. Now that she is old enough, she has immigrated to the US in order to pursue her dream. Shortly after arriving, she comes into contact with Fool, who calls himself the spirit of the stage. Fool says that one day, Sora will become a legendary performer and perfect a maneuver that was originally thought to be impossible. With a mostly female cast and the premise being based around gymnastics, the show is clearly geared towards girls. However, this doesn't mean that guys are locked out. Most of the conversations actually revolve around how everyone can improve as performers and as people, which I think is something everybody can relate to. Also, the bright colours, light-hearted tone and simple messages suggest that the target audience is young children. But again, this doesn't mean that adults will find this unenjoyable. There are some very mature themes here, such as adoption, dealing with harsh criticism, and death. One of my main criticisms of Western cartoons is that some of them feel the need to protect children from any kind of negativity. Quick, cover their eyes, cover their ears, make them think the world is all sunshine and rainbows. Kids aren't as sensitive as many people think. I believe that they can handle the truth if it's properly presented to them. This anime does a really good job of that, and because of this, it ends up being something that everybody can enjoy regardless of their age. But I don't want to make out that this show is all drama, because it's actually quite cheerful with a ton of humour.
I'm into karate at the moment. Can you be my sparring partner? Everyone in Japan has a black belt, right?
I guess this was expected since it's about a circus, but I was still kind of surprised at how often I was chuckling. There were never any massive laughs, but I was consistently amused by the jokes. Unfortunately, there are a few flaws here, with one of these flaws being that the story has a somewhat rough transition between Season 1 and Season 2. The main focus of the plot in Season 1 is Sora's journey in Kaleido Stage, starting off as a rookie and slowly working her way up to being a core member of the troupe. However, when Season 2 rolls around, it seems like she's relegated back to rookie status since everybody starts doubting her abilities. Having a character plateau in their progress is one of my pet peeves, so seeing a character actually go backwards was incredibly disappointing, especially from a series that I love so much. The second season is still great, mind you, but I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as the first. Another issue is the antagonists. At the beginning they were just standard bullies who don't really do much, but partway through Season 1, the main antagonist reveals themselves. And when this reveal happened, I said, really? Their personality does a complete 180, and the reason behind the heel turn is understandable, but everything still seemed kind of forced. Because of this, their impact on the story is greatly diminished. It's unfortunate because I think the idea of this villain was really good, but it just never felt convincing to me. Moving on to the characters, and the protagonist Sora initially is a bumbling dumbass, with her only saving grace being her natural talent for gymnastics. I think that normally I would find this type of character annoying, but what made me like Sora was how hard she has to work for everything. She doesn't start off as an amazing acrobat. In fact, it's exactly the opposite, since her first performance is a complete disaster. She starts from the bottom and has to improve her skills through tough and repetitive training. She earns every little bit of success that she gets, which makes it really easy to cheer for her. And this was the case for a lot of the cast. They started off as uninteresting, but then the show gives them a little bit of focus and suddenly they're a character with depth that I end up liking. Anna is a great example of this. Her defining personality trait is that she tries to fit unfunny jokes into the acts. At the start she seemed like a vanilla comedy relief character, but later on it is revealed that her father was a stand-up comedian. She always loved how her father made her laugh, so she wants to make her audience laugh in the same way. Even if the characters start off as kind of one-dimensional, give it a bit of time and they will surely grow on you. Although I have to say that my favourite character has probably the most one-dimensional personality in the entire cast. And that character is Jonathan the Seal. He's your standard pet character, but He's just so damn cute. How could you not love that face? Seriously. When talking about the visuals, everything looks good for the most part, with the main issue being the inconsistent animation. They take a ton of shortcuts, meaning that everything looks stiff, and at times, it even gets downright lazy. It seems that most of the animation budget went into the performances, which is fair enough since that's where good animation is needed. They take a few shortcuts here as well, but these scenes still manage to look beautiful, and they really capture the excitement of watching a high-class circus. Now when it comes to the dub, how do I put this? It's kind of... It sounds like it was made back in the 80s, complete with wound delivery, squeaky voices, awkward pauses, and a guy that sounds like Barney the dinosaur.
I brought you these just in case you needed extras.
There were a few voices that I thought were decent though. Fool sounds calm and suave, which fits well with his personality. Lucy Christian also does a fairly good job of doing an English accent with her character, Sarah DuPont. You can tell that she's an American trying to do an English accent, but it's good enough to where you can suspend your disbelief. Even with these few light spots, the dub overall is awful, and it's the reason why I gave up on the show the first time, because I just hated it so much. So I recommend to you guys, don't make the same mistake I did, go with the Japanese voice track. Now the soundtrack fares a bit better, it's actually pretty good, but the problem is that nothing was really memorable for me, with the exception of one song. The first ending theme is a really smooth combination of J-pop and rap. I'm always impressed how Japanese musicians are able to meld these two genres, and the fact that the song has female vocalists helps make it unique. You know, I originally started Anime Memories to give more exposure to shows that I love, and Kaleido Star definitely needs more exposure. I never hear anybody talking about it, which is tragic considering how good it is. So if I get even one person to check this out, I will be ecstatic. But seriously, watch it in Japanese. So anyway, thank you very much to everybody who watched this video. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. If you like this video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.